Hello everybody, welcome to LilyLuLou. If you're new here, my name's Karen, I'm the Junk Journal Geek, and I'm here today to do this week's Junk Journal Geeks Weekly Challenge. This is a challenge I set in my group every Monday, and it runs to the Monday to Sunday every week. It's just for fun, and if you would like to join in and take part, the hashtag is JJG Weekly Challenge. All the information about my group is in the description box below if you are interested in finding out more. So this week's challenge was to make something inspired by your favourite season. And I don't actually have a favourite season. I love the changes of the seasons. I love all the seasons. But I am about to start an autumn journal, and I had this book page on my desk. And it's got a little bit here about gardening in October, which we're not quite in October yet, but I thought I would use that to make a journal card. So that's what I'm going to do. So I hope you are all well and happy, and you've had a good time while I've been absent. I think I've had about a week away from crafting and filming. I've had family visiting, and so I couldn't do anything even if I wanted to, but obviously I wanted to make the most of the visit, you know, and spend time doing lovely things. So that is what I've been doing instead of crafting and coming to talk to all you lovely people. So I've just taken that part of the book page that has the information about gardening in October. I've got some bits here that I'm probably going to fussy cut as decoration on the journaling side. These come from the latest autumn kit from Sunny Creates, which I've just printed out for my design team project. And I've bought some new bedding, and I thought I could use this packaging to strengthen everything up. So that's what I'm going to do. So now, if you are in my Facebook group, you may have cottoned on to the fact that I am actually working, I'm on the right week. Usually when I do my version of the challenge, I'm posting, and in fact this one might be posted, I don't know when this is going to be posted onto YouTube, but I'm usually working a week behind because I like to give everybody a chance to, you know, have their own interpretation of what they're doing. It's easy to be slightly influenced, isn't it, by what has been done when you do these things. Well, I find it is anyway. But the last week's challenge, which I have not done yet, involved handwriting. And as you can probably see, I have a great big plaster on my thumb. And so I'm finding it difficult to do certain things, i.e. hold a pen and write. So I thought I'll do this week's and then I'll go back and do last week's another time. So if you haven't seen my challenge for the handwriting, it's because I haven't done it yet. I'm not going to get that little bit on. I thought this part of the packaging, this colour, was quite similar to the backing paper that I've got to use for the journaling side of the card, so it doesn't matter that shows through. And I want, oh, you can't even really see that on here, can you? You see the perforated part at the top. I wanted to keep that because it adds a bit of interest, and I was going to keep this tatty edge as well, but my paper's not big enough for that, so I will chop that off. So let's pop some glue on the other side and stick on my journaling paper so that somebody can actually journal on the journal card. that's the right side. So I'm just trying to stick that down. It's amazing how much difference not being able to use your thumb properly makes. It's nothing major, I just cut the side of my thumb, but you know, if I haven't got a plaster on, I'll have blood everywhere. It's not very attractive, is it? So that's that. Just do these corners a little bit, and I probably will stitch around this. When I layer up journal cards like this, I do tend to stitch around them on the machine just to make sure the edges are, you know, secure. I do normally cut them on the guillotine as well. I say I don't want to lose that top edge, but I may well just finish them off on the guillotine, just to make sure everything's straight, and then stitch around them, but you can do the rest of it on camera. There's just in fact I will leave that, because if I try and cut that, there's a tiny bit of overhang there, but if I try and cut that, it's not going to end well, is it? I might be able to do it with my knife actually, but I'll just chomp it with the big chopper in a minute. So that's going to be that side, and then I thought we would just pop some of these, or one or two of these, I don't know how many, on the other side, just as a bit of decoration. I was going to put that leaf on because it adds a bit of colour, but I think I'll just chop the, I was going to say I'm not going to cut, I can't be bothered to cut around that tiny stem, but I could just chop it off, couldn't I? I am allowed. So as I say, these are from the latest autumn kit from Sunny Creates. It is on, her kit is available on her Etsy store and on her Kofi. I will link them both below. And I believe the kit is called Awesome Autumn. It's a big kit. There's journal pages and ephemera pages. I was planning to do a full journal on film with the kit, but I haven't got as much time now as I thought I would have. So I don't know if I'm going to fit that in, but at least you'll have seen. In fact, what I will do when I finish this, I'll do a quick flip through the kit pages for you so you can see the full kit. And in case I don't get to do anything else with it on camera. The reason I'm hesitant is because I've only just got the kit a couple of days ago, and as I say, my daughter's only just gone home. And I'm going back to England on Monday for a few days to see the rest of my family. And then when I get back from that, about a week later, I'm going over to Greece to see my other daughter who's working out there at the moment because it's her birthday. So I'm going to go and see her for her birthday. So I know I'm going to have I'm not going to have a lot of time to get things done. I'm just wondering what else to put on there with the leaf. So yeah, you know, I don't want to be trying to get an autumn journal finished. Normally I'd want it finished by the end of September, and that's not going to happen. So I may just continue with the other journals that I've got to work on at the moment. We'll see. It might be an autumn journal that's ready for next year, and you know, it's ready early for next year. See what else I've got on. It feels like it's coming up to a busy time now, because although it's still only September, as I say, I've got both those visits planned. And then there's lots of things planned between myself and my daughters up until the end of the year now. So I'm not going to have the same time to myself at home as I usually have. So I don't want to commit to something that I can't then finish. So we shall see what happens. Oh, is that the only mushroom? That mushroom's quite big, isn't it? Mind you, it could go behind. I thought there was another mushroom here, but obviously not. Yeah, so normally if I do a design team project, I show you the kit before I start. But I wasn't planning for this to be my design team project. But as I'm thinking out loud, you know, thinking through what is coming and my plans, I just thought, maybe this should be my design team project. And then if I do the journal as well on camera, that will be a bonus. So if I have a little collection of things down here, and I don't want to go right into that corner, or maybe I'll do them on this corner, because I am mindful that I am going to chop a little bit off of the edges. So let's give those a touch of ink just to help cover up those white edges, because as I say, this was just printed on normal standard 80 GSM copy paper. I always like to print my kits out. Whenever I get a kit, I always print it out once on just, you know, the basic paper, because I like to have a look at it in the flesh, as it were, before I decide what I'm going to do with it. And then when I've decided what I'm going to use it for, you know, whether it's going to be a full-size journal or a half-size journal, or if I just want to use the ephemera bits and pieces or what have you, then I decide what paper it's going to be printed on and all that sort of stuff. So this was just my, whenever I do a flip through, I always use the initial papers, you know, that I printed out first of all. So this paper is quite flimsy, but that's good for this sort of thing, you know, just decorating a little page. So I'm just basically making a little cluster here. I can't remember which way around I had them, but that's going to have to do, because that's the way I've put them now. So we've got a little cluster there, and as I say, I will go and, oops, straighten these up and stitch around them. So while that's drying, let me just show you the rest of the kit. I don't want that page. So this is the page that these were cut from. So it was a page of 2 pockets and some fussy cuts. So we're going backwards. I'm showing you the ephemera first. So we've got a couple of pockets and tickets there, and a bigger pocket with some tags. Isn't he cute? Little squirrel. More pumpkins in very autumnal and festive. Some bigger tags and some little tags. This would be either a bookmark or a belly band or tuck spot, pocket and tickets. Have some circles, a little file shaped, and some labels, blank labels, more pockets, some lovely big tags. I love that owl and that with his scarf on, and I love the bear, so cute, very pretty. Just journaling cards. Then we've got some background pages in all the colours from the kit. That's a lovely page, isn't it? Falling leaves. Yeah, I was going to use some of these background pages on the back of that tag, but I had that piece of paper lying around and it matched so well with the card I was using. I thought I'd use it up. You know, I'm trying to use up what's on my desk. Now we're on to the main pages. So we've got some lined pages there for writing. A couple of little friends. Lined pages with mushrooms. Lovely squirrels. That lovely owl again, and the teddy bear. Lovely birds, gorgeous colours. I love this teal. Really love the colours that Xanthan has used in this kit. Very pretty. So as I say, I really want to do a journal with it, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get to a full journal. So I'm going to pop you on pause while I tidy this up and stitch around it, then I'll come back and show you what I've done. I'm back again. I must apologise for my squeaky chair. I don't have a proper chair yet for this room, so I'm using one of our old dining table chairs that's waiting to be repaired, and it's very squeaky. So every time I move I feel like I'm making a lot of noise. Right, so I straightened this up on the guillotine and then just stitched around it. I had lilac thread in my machine because I've been working on the lilac journal, and I thought, oh, I'll just quickly swap that out, and I happen to have a lovely orange thread in the sewing machine drawer. I thought, oh, I'll use that, but I didn't have a bobbin done. Oh dear, trying to do a bobbin with this on, everything's sticking to the plaster. It was going everywhere, so in the end I gave up and used the brown because I already had a bobbin ready to go. So I know this is very simple, but I think it looks quite effective. Yeah, it's just a simple journal card, but just adding that little cluster at the bottom I think is quite effective, and it's a nice easy thing for beginners to do. You know, if you're a bit intimidated with making a whole journal, making all the little bits of ephemera is quite a nice way to get started. So we've got our lovely little piece about gardening in October on that side, and our lovely pretty little cluster on the back where we would be journaling. I've got these tickets here, and I'm just wondering if I could use one of them as a sort of tab at the top, what that would look like. Do you know what? I think I will. It is cracking. This These are actual vintage tags. Oh my goodness. I can't even fold this in half because of my thumb. Right, it's going to have to stay folded there. I might have to pop some tape or something on that once it's stuck in place, because it is cracking, but I think that looks quite nice on there. Yes, that's what we will do. So let's pop some glue on the back. Let's pop that there, sort of in the middle-ish, I think. But not straight. Oh dear. I think it's because it's not folded straight because it's cracked. That's going to have to do. So look, whichever, I can get one side straight and the other side's going to be wonky, but it's going to have to stay wonky, I'm afraid. Because that's the best I can do. So I know that's a very quick, simple, easy project today, but I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me and keeping me company. Hopefully I'll be back again in another couple of days with something else. But in the meantime, take care, look after yourselves, have a go at the Junk Journal Geek challenge if you would like to, and don't forget to tag me and use the hashtag when you post your pictures, and I will see you again very soon. In the meantime, sorry, somebody's just come in my drive. Look, sorry, I'm very distracted, aren't I? Look after yourselves, take care, and enjoy your own crafty time. Bye-bye.